Another question of the same style. We've got a profit of that equation right there. What levels of production will yield a profit of $61,800? And so very similar to the other ones, everyone, we're going to have $61,800 was equal to whatever our profit function is. We'll give that to Wolfram, and we'll see what we get. And let me take a moment to make sure I copied that correctly. A small typo, everyone, can sometimes make a big deal. On my writing over here, I forgot the X after the 6,400. And then also on the next line down, I wrote 600 instead of 6,400. So careful as you transcribe things, because sometimes, like I just did, a silly little mistake can make a big deal. So that should be better. And we end up with two solutions here. So with those two solutions, everyone, I am going to, because this is real life, get that fraction changed to an approximate form. We end up with 345.56 for that. And it's important to remember that we can have decimals when we're talking about products, especially if we're talking about weights of things, like how many pounds of apples or how many tons of coal, that sort of thing. We are not always talking about sweaters and that kind of thing. So it is possible to have a decimal answer that is viable. We get x equals 10, or x equals 345.56. So a profit of 61,800 can be made by either selling 10 units or by selling 345.56 units. Now, there is a tremendous difference here. Like they're having to make 334.56 more of these to get back to that level of profit. And so if you really wanted to make only 61,800 bucks, stopping at 10 would definitely be the ultimate best thing to do. Part B here, everyone, is asking, can a profit greater than that be made, and how? Again, I want to point out in this graph here, everything between these 2 points is higher than those 2 points. So you could produce anything between 10 and 345.56, and you would be making a greater profit. The greatest profit seems to be right here, just over $500,000. And so if they stop at 61,800, they're losing out on a ton of money. But the answer to that question is yes, you can make more money, produce more, and sell, produce and sell. More than 10 and less than 345.56. Now, in reality, right, your boss is going to say, okay, why are you being stupid with me about this? Just tell me what I should do. You would come back and say something like what we're going to figure out in our next lesson. Gee, it looks like about 180 units is where the profit is maximized, and that puts us at almost $600,000. So our best advice, produce and sell 180 units, and we'll make almost 600,000 bucks. Then your boss comes back and says, hey, you know what, I think we can do way more than 180. we have enough to make 350. I think that's what I'm going to do. You can go ahead and tell your boss, then you're going to be losing money all the way from 180 over to your 360. And you're going to be down to having even less than $60,000 when you could have had $600,000. I would say, go ahead, boss, you do that. I'm going to go work somewhere else.